What is up? Another day of just pure selling on the NQ. A little bit early today, but I took my trade and not really interested to even look at the market the rest of the day. And yeah, that's about 45 minutes into open because I really couldn't tell you what we're going to do besides hunting this low, which is what I would assume. But this is the daily chart. I just wanted to pull this up at the beginning to kind of we haven't seen this type of move lower this aggressively, 2,000 points down in a while. I have to use the NQ chart that's continuous to see like the old information. But this is a mean market maker sell model that we're in. I thought that we were just targeting here, and I was wrong. We are just selling, ripping through. So I'll go over the trade. I have the recording I'll show at the end, like usual. And I was really happy with how I held the trade today because if you guys know some of the mistakes I normally make, we actually were able to avoid. But I am frustrated with how the trade went, and I'll go over that as well. So daily bias, going into the morning, let's get rid of this stuff. Going into the morning, daily bias, this is on the 4 hour. 4 hours obviously bearish, right? There's nothing bullish about this besides the fact that we're in an imbalance, but where are we going to reverse? Who knows? So you have to drop down. So the 4 hour at this point in time is relatively useless, I would say. The 1 hour was kind of useless as well. We just kind of sold overnight. But what was I paying attention to here? The different sessions, right? I was looking at London high and Asia high. So I just marked those out as just a preliminary. I wasn't really expecting much, really. And I don't know, I marked this one kind of out as London high, but this one also, but it's just kind of stacked with the Asia one. So I don't really care much, and this high becomes important for why I think, not why we sold, right? We're selling because we're super bearish and weak, but this kind of gave a confluence with an SMT we had here. We end up forming this SMT right before open, which is at London high. I don't know if that counts as London high, if I'm being honest, but this is London high. I would count this as London high. This is kind of like Asia session. So yeah, London. The high of London's like actual price action got an SMT, and then this is kind of going to the market open, but we actually did close bearish on this 15-minute. We broke below. We had a data low, and I don't know if some of the people that saw my stuff, because Dodgy went on his live stream last night. I saw him comment on my video, which was pretty cool. And then yeah, and I guess he watched my last video yesterday, so it was kind of funny. And people were saying that I was like a Dodgy Junior or something like that, or just copying him or whatever, which was funny. But yes, I learned data lows because of that, and that's why I knew this was a good target. So the data low was kind of had my eye on, but I wasn't really too sold on either direction today, because when you're in such a strong sell off like this, at least for me, in my experience, it's just it's really hard to try and be bullish even if you get structure to validate it. But it's also hard to just be bearish because you're so low down, right? There's been no pullback at all whatsoever. So it's just hard to be bullish. But it's also hard to just sell at this low of a level. So it's like a really internal thing. So when the 15-minute broke today, so yeah, that's why I don't really have a daily bias come into a day like this. I recognize these draws in liquidity, and I'm kind of just waiting for something internal to happen, or just a strong reaction towards a liquidity, right? Because we were targeting this data low, and we had a lot of aggression towards it, and we inversed the 15-minute, I was able to kind of identify the data low as a nice target, purely because intraday we gave validation for it, right? We didn't sweep anything higher time frame here that was validating shorts. It's kind of just a really data low based trade. So when we had market open here, we had the SMT. Do we have an SMT here? Let's see. 5 minute. Ooh, we did. I didn't realize that. Okay. So 9 o'clock. Oh, we didn't have an SMT. What was I looking at? Am I an idiot? Oh, I didn't switch. 9 o'clock here, we had an internal SMT again, so that's even better. And we had an SMT at this high. So we had double SMT. We come down, we break below the 15-minute. We create this 5-minute fair value gap, which was my reference point for my short. It's getting a little messy here. I'm going to get rid of the 15-minute inverse, but we disrespected a higher time frame imbalance towards the data low. We wick into here, which is also discount of this range. So we hit the 50%, which is obviously kind of nice. I mean, it doesn't have to happen on this move, but I did not want to enter off this IFVG here, purely because I really it was like right after market opens. I really don't like taking trades right away. But this would have been kind of a dead trade because I'm sure I'd scale some at this low. So let's say if I scaled half. So I would have still made good money, 51 points, but it would be really annoying to see this get hit, come all the way down here, inverse this gap here, and then get stopped at break even. So I'm really happy that I didn't take this inverse because part of me was getting impatient and getting kind of upset that maybe it was going to sell off to the data low without me. And I was like, maybe I can go here. But then I was like, okay, I'll let the move happen. Yesterday I got a little bit over excited to try and make money, and it kind of burned me. This inverse as well, I'm glad I didn't take it. It would have been a break even though, and I would have not scaled really here. That would have just been a bad trade anyways. But I was like, okay, we have this 5-minute. I don't know if we're gonna run lower. I don't know if we're gonna go higher. Let me see what happens in this 5-minute. It is in 50% retracement, and I was like, okay, this fair value gap, if this thing breaks, I'm happy taking this trade. So that's what happened. I got in. Kind of hesitated a second just to see if I could see what was happening in this area, and also on trading Top Step X, I have to I watched obviously the NQ chart, but then I go to the NQ micros to execute, so it kind of delays my entry because I'm trying to make sure it actually closes. So yeah, it was a little bit of a late close, but our first target we ended up scaling for around 37 points, and our last target was 65 points. And if we held to this low, which you really could have, the data low wasn't really holding anything back there, and that would have been 82 points. So I am really salty that I didn't get the full 81 points because it's a lot more money, but happy with executing on the trade and being right, even though I don't really like associating winning and losing with being right or wrong, but picking a solid trade with good risk, so I'm happy with that. But I'm pretty sure I'll pull up the video of the execution. So yeah, this was the trade, and in the trade, I'll pull up the execution right now, and let's see what's happening here. This 2-minute just inverse. I mean, I don't really you could take that to this high here, and just, I mean, that's 29 points. But yeah, I'm not looking to trade anymore. So there's no need. This 5-minute to there, but I don't know. Who knows if that's even gonna work? So I'll pull up the execution now of this trade. But yeah, it's kind of a weird day because there's no I can't give you this sexy breakdown of oh, we manipulated midnight open, and then we we swept liquidity into a higher time frame fair value gap with an SMT, with a turtle soup. Then we displaced lower. We broke structure to the downside. Then we retraced the equilibrium of the range back down. Then we inversed. Then we got our setup. It wasn't really sexy today. I mean, this was pretty clean. The double SMT here, the bigger time frame SMT, and then the SMT on the smaller time frame was pretty clean. This inverse happening, this was a pretty clean model. But it's also just inside of a range, and a lot of times this can just be a lot of noise, and you can get chopped up. So not the cleanest ever day, but we did actually end up making $300. Again, I risked $400, so I didn't get a 1-to-1 because, like I said, I got stopped at break even, and I'll go over that trade and what I was happy with and what I probably could do better in the future. But yeah, so the account is around 467 positive, which is all right. So hopefully we can just get back to that We can just hopefully we can come in next week and have a good week, because I won't be trading tomorrow, because I won't be here tomorrow at my house, and I thought it was a good time to just take the day off on Friday because it's been a tough week this week. I've had 2 losing days, 2 winning days, and we're slightly negative on the week. So I'm really fine just taking a day and just kind of being break even. I think I'm down like $30 this week, and just coming back next week and being ready to see what we can do, and hopefully we can put together a few wins, and then we can start making some progress. So I'm happy with this, this consistency, this break evenness, and hopefully we can just get a nice run going here soon. Only 3 losing days, but again, this day, if you guys remember, we messed up this day. Should have been a lot more. We could have made more today if the market didn't stop me out of break even, but which is fine. So just stuff like that. If we can clean up those things, I think we'll be on our way. So I'm really happy with what we're doing, and coming back today. It's always nice to win after a tough week, right? It's been tough, and I've been losing some trades. So hopefully we come in and we win our next trade, so we can start making progress and not just being break even, because being break even is frustrating. But anyways, I'll pull up the execution here, and yeah, let's see. The execution is here. So we enter the trade, or we're looking to enter the trade, and then we switch over to micro. So we're waiting for it to close, we're watching it, and boom, okay. I'm like, okay, now let's get in. And I was kind of sitting here for a second, and when I saw it kind of reject that inverse, I got in there, which gave me a nicer fill technically. I put my stop loss to about 400, just as a rough estimate. And in this moment with this candle running straight up, I was really sad. I was like, no chance I'm going to get stopped instantly and lose again, and lose for the 3rd time this week. But luckily, that didn't happen. So our full profit target down here was $771, which would have been a very stinking nice, man. It would have been very nice to see $700 hit the account if I would have just held. If I didn't go to break even, I would have been fine. But as you can see, I put my limit order 3 to sell half my position at that low, because I thought that would be a nice place to scale, and that I could go break even, and just make sure to capitalize on something, so that if it did reverse and run, I would have been able to get some of my position off and slightly profitable. So that reaction out of this candle, we respected this bearish fair value gap, and we respected the inverse. So I was really happy with that close. And at this point, I just kind of trailed my stop a little bit, because it really shouldn't come back to this high, in my opinion, especially not before taking that. So when we started running down here, I was even more excited, thinking we were good to go. And we were up around 300 something there. So we were up more there than we ended up finishing with, which, it is what it is, right? It's annoying because in hindsight, if I would have just closed all at that low or held with no break even, I would have been fine. I put my stop above that high because I thought we were about to take the low, and I thought I was going to go break even. How much I would have loved for this run straight through and hit both take profits. What a beautiful day that could have been, but that wasn't the case. And it put in that equal low, and I was like, okay, I've got to stay disciplined here. If I would have just closed position, again, I would have made more, but that's fine. It started coming back up, and I was a little bit stressed here, but I was like, okay, it's going to hit the low for sure. Went to the NQ contract to see if it hit the low on the full contract or not, which it didn't. So I was like, okay, I'll stay in it. But I'm so happy with how I held this. Look, I even trailed my limit right to that low, and I was like, what the heck's the point in that? Like, if we're gonna hold it, we're gonna hold it the right way. And I so this candle, I was like, oh yeah, for sure we're gonna hit this, and that just wasn't meant to be there. So it just kind of trolled my take profit and started moving up. And at this point I was a little bit concerned because I've just been getting burnt this week. So I was like, another losing day maybe, or another break even. So I moved my stop up because I was like, I'm not getting stopped out of this trade. So I put above that high, again, the high that I thought was protected. So that was around a $270 stop loss. And I was like, I'm just hoping we don't I hope we don't lose on this, because I could have just taken a break even. But I was like so determined to hit this that, we moved our stop. So then when I see this candle come in, I'm feeling more confident, but it's not really following through like I would hope. And again, you're gonna see what happens on the rest of my contracts. It's so annoying that I got stopped at break even on the rest, because like I don't know if I honestly, that's where I don't know if I should have gone break even or not at that low. I really don't know. I feel like I'd like the break even play at that low, just because why would I not go break even? So I went to that high now at that point, because at this point, if it came back up and ran to my break even, I don't want to be in the trade. And I almost moved that limit to just take it up, and we would have missed out on about 7 points, which is a big deal, really. I mean, I can't lose that. So I was really happy with the hit in my take profit, and my reaction's kind of funny. I get a little bit happy. I give a little fist bump when it hits my take profit, because I was really happy with how I held the trade, and it's kind of cringy for sure. But if you guys have been watching consistently the videos, you know that I would either have taken my full contracts off here. I might have slid my take profit up to just exit around here, or just cancel the whole thing, or just got out for $100. You guys know that I've been watching these videos, that my biggest problem is just holding trades properly. So at the end of the day, even though this did end up stopping me out at break even, I am very happy with the fact that I held the trade to that low and follow my plan, right? Because I did exactly what I would hope to do, and we hit our trade there. So then I was at break even, or slightly above. And yeah, it's annoying that it just wicked that low and kind of moved back up, because it could have just follow through that low and just hit my take profit. And as you would see, I would have made another $381. Or actually, I would have made not 520, but I would have made 581 minus. It doesn't really matter how much more I would have made. I would have made 381 plus 250. I would have made around $600, $700 on the trade, which changes a lot, really. It really does. So it is frustrating that it stopped me out, but there's nothing you can really do about it. And wow, this actually worked really well. But yeah, so yeah, this trade here, you just have your stop somewhere, take profit here, let your runner run. Wow. But yeah, that was the trade I took. And yeah, maybe I do trade tomorrow, maybe I don't. I'm thinking about just taking the day off and just ending the week. But maybe if the charts are looking good overnight, I tune in and see what I can do. Actually, I want to leave those highs there. So yeah, I mean, overall, a nice day. We executed well. Again, we didn't get the hit full take profit, but we're seeing the trades better. We're holding the trades better, right? I don't think I was not seeing these trades before. I just wasn't holding them properly. I was over executing. A lot of times I would have got caught up trying to re-enter here, which today would have worked, but that's just not smart, right? The re-enter here and try and get the points would have worked, but that's just a bad habit, so I locked myself out of the account. I followed my rules. So this week, I believe I followed my rules, except for one time I re-entered a trade. That was the only time I broke my rule, was once this week. So that's a positive in my books, even though it was obviously a break-even week. So appreciate everyone that's been watching the videos, and hope you guys had a good day, and hope you guys have a good week. Hopefully you guys have a good day Friday trading. If I might not trade tomorrow, so we'll see. But more than likely, there probably won't be a video, regardless. And if I do trade, I might just risk less, unless it's a really good trade. And I probably will only take a setup that's unbelievably textbook. But yeah, maybe I'm just taking the weekend off. I don't know. But I'll see you guys again. I appreciate everyone that watches the videos, and hope you guys have a great weekend if I don't make a video tomorrow. And yeah, peace.